Coming up, Jasper County residents will learn all they need to know to vote in the upcoming elections, and the Bluffton Police Department will tell us how to keep this a safe and happy Halloween. All that and, of course, the latest headline business and entertainment news right now on the Bluffton News. Welcome to the Bluffton News. I'm Anneliza Itkor, and these are Bluffton's current headlines. The Sea Trawler restaurant, which closed its doors last November, will reopen as Sunset Bay Restaurant on November 15th. 2 months ago, Michael Vu of Atlanta purchased the restaurant that overlooks McKay's Creek in Buckingham Landing. Vu, who also owns H. Allure Nails and Spa in Bluffton, brought Zach Drescher on as general manager and has kept to a tight schedule to meet the mid-November deadline. According to Drescher, former roast fish and cornbread executive chef Donald Hargrove will feature low-country cooking, fresh seafood, steaks, and chops. Initially, Sunset Bay will serve lunch and dinner 7 days a week, with Saturday and Sunday brunch to be added later. And Richard Kelvin Etheridge, 48, was charged with attempted murder late Friday after he allegedly hit a man over the head with a beer bottle and stabbed him multiple times during a fight at a Jasper restaurant. According to Ridgeland Police Department, officers were called to Jasper's porch at 153 James L. Taylor Road at about 9 p.m., where they found Sean Wayne Williams, 38, of Hardyville, with stab wounds to the abdomen and cuts to the head. Williams was flown to Savannah Memorial University Medical Center. Etheridge was then arrested at the restaurant and charged with attempted murder and unlawful carrying of a weapon after witnesses said he hit Williams with a beer bottle and attacked him with a knife. Etheridge remained in the Jasper County Jail State Saturday, while Williams was reported in stable condition. On the unemployment front, things got better for Beaufort and Jasper counties in September. In both Beaufort and Jasper counties, the percentage of people looking for work was much lower in September than it was in the same month last year. The statewide unemployment rate also dipped from August to September. The data offers a brighter long-term picture of the region's employment climate. However, South Carolina is still struggling to catch up with the nation's recovery. The Palmetto State's jobless picture remains worse than the nation's average. For South Carolina, job growth occurred in government, education, and health service jobs. Areas where jobs declined: leisure and hospitality, trade, transportation, utilities, and construction. Volunteers are needed for the 2013 RBC Heritage. The 2013 event, which is presented by Boeing, is happening April 15th through the 21st at Harbortown Golf Links. Recruiting meetings for Bluffton area volunteers will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. November 14th at Sun City Hilton Head's Pinckney Hall, and a second will be held there from 10 a.m. to noon November 15th. Former volunteers should have already received applications for next year's tournament by email. Organizers ask that those forms be returned as soon as possible. And the Bluffton Art and Seafood Festival was a huge success this past weekend and enjoyed strong attendance. Calhoun Street was transformed into an outdoor art gallery, and attendees were able to meet the artists and participate in the voting. Arts and crafts vendors helped get the Christmas shopping started early, while an abundance of food and live music rounded out the fun. And here's what's happening around the state. The co-owner of an Anderson market has died after he was struck by a car in front of his business. 25-year-old Joseph Michael McClellan of Anderson died shortly before 1 p.m. Sunday at Greenville Memorial Hospital from blunt trauma. According to Anderson County Deputy Coroner Don McCown, McClellan was standing well to the side of the highway across from the jockey lot where he was hit. 28-year-old Christopher Alexander Martin of Pelzer has been charged with felony driving under the influence and possession of a controlled substance. 3 men suspected of carjacking in Greenville County have been arrested after trying to run from police in Newberry County. Investigators said a trooper who was stopping to check on a disabled car on the shoulder of Interstate 26 near Newberry late Saturday night saw 3 men run into the woods. Newberry County Sheriff Lee Foster says deputies linked the men to the carjacking in Greenville County. The sheriff says one of the men was arrested a short time later, but it took officers hours of searching in the woods to find the other 2 suspects. No one was injured taking the 3 men into custody. Their names have not been released. The search for two North Carolina teens who went missing more than a week ago on the way to the beach has now turned inland. The Sun City of Myrtle Beach reported Saturday that the search for 18-year-old Jake Ziegler and 17-year-old Ray Pierce is now centered on the area near Interstate 77 in Fairfield County, where authorities say Ziegler used his cell phone to send a text message on October 13th at about 2:45 a.m. Dozens of volunteers are combing an area near Blythewood, about 25 miles north of Columbia. Friends said the two high school seniors from Sherrills Ford, North Carolina, were headed to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where there is no evidence they ever arrived. Neither their cell phones nor their debit cards have been used since. And finally, authorities are searching for an accused murderer who shed his electronic monitoring bracelet and disappeared while free on bail. Traveris Walker was free on $125,000 bail after being charged in the fatal December 19th shooting of 25-year-old Marquis Rashad Richardson in Lincolnville. While awaiting trial this week, prosecutors say the 29-year-old Walker stretched his monitoring bracelet out of shape and removed it and took off. Walker's bail has been revoked and a warrant has been issued for his arrest. Prosecutors say Walker killed Richardson while trying to retrieve property he believed the victim had taken from him. Charleston authorities are pushing for better oversight of electronic monitoring after several recent escapes. For more information on these headlines and more, please check out the media sources you see listed on your screen. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Coming up, BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun has an insider's view of what's making news as the Bluffton Sun brings you hot off the presses. And Shellie West-Hodges brings us the Bluffton Business Report when we return with more Bluffton news.
The smoked chipotle burrito is really good.
Yeah, my zesty cheesesteak burrito's great.
Are you familiar, Pete, with the phrase, don't mess with success?
Yeah.
Because this is not only messing with success, this is taking success to the cliff and shoving success over.
Success said, oh, please, don't do anything. Leave me alone.
These burritos didn't even hear that. They heard, oh, put, and that was it. It was just like, wah. Egg everywhere.
Wake up to sirloin steak and fluffy eggs with the new zesty cheesesteak and smoked chipotle breakfast burritos. This is how you Sonic.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining me now is BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun. So BJ, these are kind of Halloween-inspired stories this week. First off, what did not pass the smell test in Bluffton?
Well, it was a pretty sticky situation over on Buckwalter and Highway 278 intersection. They're doing some work there, and a contractor accidentally cut through a sewage pipe, and in less than an hour's time, over 10,000 gallons of raw sewage flowed into, thank goodness, a holding pond. And of course, once Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer found out about it, of course, they stopped the leak, and then they went about pumping it out, and they claim they're going to be able to completely disinfect the area and everything's going to be okay. And the South Carolina Department of Environmental Control is also overseeing the project. But, you know, with all the work going on around here, it's bound to happen occasionally. But we're all set and things are going to be smelling like roses pretty soon.
Good. Now, going from the rather unpleasant to a topic that some parents find to be downright creepy, is Big Brother watching our students?
Well, you know, this story shows how one person can pretty much create policies and change a situation. A Beaufort mom felt that her children were being bullied on the school bus. They kept complaining about it and nothing was being done because there was no proof. So she started a petition for the school buses to have cameras on them so they could monitor what goes on. And just recently, the Beaufort County has agreed to put cameras, video cameras, on 166 school buses between now and the end of the year, in the front, middle, and rear, and hopefully be able to stop any kind of bullying or bad behavior going on. And you know, it's wonderful that one person can create this kind of a situation that benefits all.
I agree with you, and personally I think it's a terrific idea, and especially in light of the recent bully-inspired suicide that just happened in the nation, I think it is absolutely the right step to be
Sure,
taking.
we can catch any school bus drivers texting while driving too. So.
There you go. All right, now I'm dying to know about the paranoid football fans.
Well, you know, a big game, South Carolina, a Louisiana game recently, was televised, and apparently, again, talk about mishaps with our utilities. Someone cut a Hargray TV cable down, and several thousand people in the Moss Creek area and businesses lost their cable TV reception in the middle of the game. And of course, they all scrambled to go to bars and friends' houses out of the area to see the game. And then they complained to Hargray that, you know, I think it's the opponents that cut these cables on purpose so we couldn't see the game. And Hargray said, don't be so paranoid. It was just Time Warner, their competitor, that cut into our cable and caused the problem.
Oh, great stories this weekend. Thanks so much, BJ.
Nice to see you.
On today's Bluffton Business Report, Shellie West-Hodges embraces a favorite low-country pastime, golf. So, Shellie, Bluffton clearly has a lot to offer our local and visiting golfers. Can you give us some examples of our regional courses?
Yeah, we have some great courses, and we have Crescent and Eagles Point, which are both sister courses here in town, and they offer great deals for locals and visitors.
And do they have any special arrangement for locals?
Yes, they do. If you sign up to play both the courses, you get a great discount for that, and they are very affordable and very reasonable, and they're both beautiful courses.
Now, are they public or private courses?
These are both public courses, and they also do tournaments for locals as well.
Cool. Well, swinging over to a different part of town, let's talk a little bit about what Brown Golf Management has to offer.
Brown Golf Management also has two sister courses, and that's Pinecrest and Island West. Both are beautiful courses and also offer great public amenities.
Cool. Now, if they've got great courses, do they also offer special rates for locals?
Yes, they do, and it's kind of, everybody's kind of similar. They also offer packages if you play both courses. Some of the courses around town also work with the area hotels like Comfort Suites to do packaging for out-of-town guests, or even for locals that have family coming in town. They do special rates with some of the hotels.
Good. Now finally, let's take a peek at Hampton Hall.
Now Hampton Hall is a private community, but they do offer public access, and they offer what they call limited public play.
Now who designed their course?
That is designed by Pete Dye, and it's also beautiful. And locals who are not residents can call a week in advance to set up tee times.
Cool. Now, they do have a lot of amenities that I know they offer their residents. Are all of the amenities offered to the residents also offered to the public?
Not all. They do have some other facilities there that are just resident specific, but they do offer specials for locals to play the golf. And as a matter of fact, they have a tournament coming up with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Department, so they're looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, Shellie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
When we return, we have some great advice for parents regarding Halloween from the Bluffton Police Department, and we'll also have voting info from Jasper County on this edition of the Bluffton News.
Tara's Men's Den, located beside Tara's Salon at the Moss Creek Village, is a full-service salon for men only. Open Monday through Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. We offer haircuts, color, highlights, waxing, and treatments for hair loss. No appointment necessary, so come enjoy a relaxing atmosphere for men only, and don't forget senior discounts every Wednesday. Call or visit us today. Our number is 843-837-5555.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining us now is Lieutenant Joe Babkiewicz of the Bluffton Police Department. Now, you've got some really important information for us today, don't you?
Yes, we do, for the safety of the children.
Absolutely. With Halloween on the horizon, it's a fun holiday, but unfortunately, over the years, there are some dangers associated with the holiday. What is some advice you can give to parents to make sure their children stay safe?
Some of the biggest advice we could advise to some of the parents of these children is make sure that they're going in groups and not out by themselves. This way here they can all stay together and have a good time. Also, as they go out in groups, they should at least have 1 or 2 adults with them to try to look after the children and make sure that they're safe. We also believe that wearing reflective gear, whether it be some kind of reflective tape on the costumes or a flashlight to carry so that vehicles can see them as they're walking along the side of the road or on the sidewalk, because a lot of their costumes are always dark. It's always good to have some kind of reflective gear so that they can see them.
Now, over the years, I know there's always been concern about the actual candy that's given to children. We've heard a lot of horror stories. How can parents protect against that?
The best advice I can give parents is to make sure that their kids are not eating candy until they get home. A lot of times when kids will see their favorite type of candy that they get, they'll want to eat it right away. I know I have children myself, and they tend to try to do that. The best thing is to wait until they get home, look over all the candy, make sure none of the packages are opened or anything like that, and then they could have their children eat as much candy as they want.
How about homemade items? What is your take on that?
I usually throw away all homemade items unless it's from somebody who you really trust, whether it's a friend of a friend or a neighbor who you really trust. If it's from somebody you don't really know, I think the best bet is to throw it away because you don't know what it's made of or what could be inside of it. If your kids have allergies or anything like that, you don't know what kind of ingredients are inside those homemade items. And
that's actually a good tip for people giving out candy, because I know a lot of good intention and love goes into those homemade treats. But at the end of the day, if you know that they're mostly going to end up in the garbage, just run into Walgreens or CVS and picking up a bag of candy is probably your best route.
That's usually the best route. Just pick up some candy over at Walgreens or some other store and hand it out. You know, the ones that are already packaged, so parents don't have to worry about anything like that.
Now, real quick, any words of wisdom for the kids that are out trick-or-treating?
With the kids, I'd say try to stick together. I know it's very easy to get excited to go from one house to the next, and what happens a lot is the kids will run from one house to the next and they spread out, and it's very difficult to keep track of them. A lot of the houses will be open for a good portion of the night. Their best bet is to stay together, walk together, and have a good time.
Terrific. Well, this is such important advice because we do want Halloween to be a fun experience for everyone. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Our next guest brings us important information regarding voting in Jasper County. Please welcome Reverend Donald Sheftall, Chairman of the Jasper County Election Commission. Welcome, Chairman.
Thank you. Glad to be here with you.
Now, please tell us, how are the Jasper County elections going to differ from last year?
Well, in last year, we were in Congressional District 2, Senate District 45, and House District 122, the entire county. Whereas in this election, we will be in Congressional District 6, Senate District 45, and Senate District 46. We also have a three-way split for the House District 122, 120, and 118. On our ballot this year, we also have a local question that our voters will be able to vote upon in regards to the election of our county councilmen. Presently, we vote on them at large. With this local question, they will have the opportunity of changing that to a single-member district or keeping it at large. So those are some of the changes they can look for in this election here versus prior election.
Okay, quite a bit has changed, actually. Now, what identification will the voters need to vote in this election?
Well, I'm glad you asked. A lot of concerns have been about the new voter ID law that was passed and recently cleared by our Justice Department, but it does not go into effect until 2013. So individuals who vote in this election will still need one of three credentials as they did in previous election, either the voter's registration card, the driver's license, or an ID from the Department of Motor Vehicle. One of those three credentials will still allow them to vote in this election.
Perfect. If any of Jasper County registered voters received a new registration card and have questions about which precinct or district they belong in, how do they reach you?
Well, if they have questions or concerns, they can reach us at 843-726-7709, 843-726-5340, or they can email us at jbostick@jaspercountysc.gov.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chairman. We really appreciate you taking time out of what I'm sure is a very busy day.
Well, thank you. Glad to be with you. Thank you.
After the break, Rodney, Vaughn, and you'll meet our special Bluffton News Pet of the Week.
Okay, so it's a romantic dinner for two. Now, I've already cut some tomato. Time for the vinaigrette. You are gonna love this. Okay, we need some sesame seeds. My favorite pan. Now, what's really important is...
With Merillat cabinets, you'll discover function that's irresistible.
Good thing I'm not the jealous type.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining us now is our favorite entertainment reporter, Rodney Vaughn. Now, Rodney, we always look forward to the Concours d'Elegance that is coming up, the big motoring festival, and I understand there's some special events that even precede that.
That is true. It all starts this weekend, and it starts on Friday. Something a little bit unusual is that it's going to start in Savannah on Hutchinson Island with a Grand Prix race. Most people don't realize that Savannah was the founding city for the Grand Prix race in America. And from 1908 to 1911, 4 major races took place on Hutchinson Island. There's a 25-mile course there on Hutchinson Island that has been restored to its original beauty, and the people are welcome to gather there this weekend to do a race simulation, see inside the cars. All the cars will be there, and it should draw a great big crowd.
I love it when the history of the Low Country is incorporated into our events. It sounds like so much fun. Give us a little more information.
That's fantastic. And it's $20 or $25 to join the event this weekend. And you can buy tickets online at the WHHI-Concourse.com.
All right. Now, I know that the Blufftonians love their beer, and I understand there is another beer festival on the horizon.
I'm telling you what, as if there's room for another beer festival. This is the second annual Bluffton International and Craft Beer Festival. And this is sponsored by Piggly Wiggly. It takes place in Old Town Bluffton on Saturday, November the 3rd. I'm giving you just a little bit of heads up to make plans for that, and make sure that you visit their website for a little bit more information at blufftonbeerfest.com.
I'll tell you, with all of the things that are going on right now, we need that heads up. Now, is this a free event?
Well, it actually is free to attend the event, but tickets for the samplings are $15 and $20 at the door. And they also have a VIP ticket, which is $40.
All right, now real quick, I understand that May River is opening the Fantastics this weekend.
Well, May River Theater has been in rehearsals and production of the Fantastics, and it will open this Friday night at 8 p.m. at the May River Theater on Pritchard Street in Bluffton. And you can buy tickets at the door for $20 cash or check.
Terrific. We know that the May River Theater always does a great job, so get out and see the show. Rodney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anneliza.
Our Bluffton News Pet of the Week is a one-of-a-kind canine with one blue eye and one brown. DREAMA is a bundle of energy. Still under a year old, she's athletic and fun-loving. So if you need a running buddy or a beach bum partner, please come and spend some quality time with DREAMA and fall in love. For more information about DREAMA or other adoptable animals, please contact Brookshaven Animal Rescue at 843-757-7387. Thanks for joining us for the news program that is all Bluffton all the time. I'm Anneliza Itkor for the Bluffton News. We'll see you next time.